Hey wrestling fans, this is MC Hale. I'm sitting here with Ricky O, owner and promoter of Liberty States Wrestling. And what we're going to be doing over the next few weeks is we're going to be bringing you some interviews we did at Legends of the Ring. So Ricky, tell us who we're going to be talking to.
Well, it's nice to see you again, Sean. I haven't had a chance to catch up with you this summer. I hope all is well, and I hope the fans out there are having a great time. But we're back in full swing right now. We stopped down Legends of the Ring, and we were able to conduct some of the funniest and some of the best interviews with some of the legends like J.J. Dillon, 911, Gary Wolf, Quang, also known as Savio Vega, J.J. Dillon, and Colonel Robert Parker, and Chris Masters.
Masterpiece. You can't forget the masterpiece.
Fantastic pieces. We're going to piece them together, and we're going to put them out to you guys once a week, starting this Tuesday night and every Tuesday for the next 6 weeks, leading us up to September 13th, Hasbrouck Heights, LSW, and there's a huge announcement coming that night, guys, and you're not going to want to miss it.
All right, get your tickets now for September 13th, and here come the interviews.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure today to be joined by nobody other than the Master Lock Challenge Master, Chris Masters. Welcome to LSW Insider.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, man. Just another day at the convention. Quick question, we'll start off with life in the WWE, life on the indies. What do you prefer? Obviously not money-wise. I just mean personally.
This is how I sum it up. This is the part of the business I love because I'm my own boss. I love what I do, and I don't have the weight of the world on my shoulders. I don't have to be married to it, and it's much more intimate with the fans, which is very nice. It helps keep me in touch with the fan that I was, growing up as a kid. There's Howard Finkel, by the way.
Let me ask you a question. You just mentioned the fact that you were a fan growing up, which to me is a great thing. Seeing guys on TV right now that are in main event angles, I'm not going to say Swagger, who didn't know who Rikishi was. Growing up, who was your favorite?
Swagger didn't know who Rikishi was?
Somebody mentioned to him one day about Rikishi's finishing move being a stink face, and he busted out laughing, and they asked somebody who was laughing at, and he asked what a Rikishi was.
Okay, wow. What was the question?
Who was your favorite growing up?
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you. Ultimate Warrior, unfortunately, got me watching wrestling. But as the years progressed, I started to really Warrior was in and out, and I started really appreciating the great, talented workers, the Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Mr. Perfect, Rick Rude. I mean, those guys. And, I'd essentially say that, like, Shawn Michaels as a kid was my idol. He was my, and then eventually became my mentor when I got to work him. And, it was really cool. I'm glad I got the opportunity to do that. But to go back to, like, the indie wrestling, I mean, it's great being your own boss. And the way I put it to people is, like, for me, I ain't getting rich, but I'm making a living. And I'm doing what I love.
And you're probably having a little bit more fun. Now,
yes,
I overheard you earlier saying that you've been on a strict...
I just got back from Amsterdam.
How great is that? But I heard you say... Wait a minute, this might explain my next question. I heard you say earlier that you were on a strict McDonald's diet this week. What's your favorite McDonald's sandwich and why?
You got to go with the Big Mac. I will say, though, about the Big Mac, that piece of bread in the middle is probably the most useless thing in the world. But the thing is, when you're in Europe, there's no good choices, especially after a certain time of night. It's either McDonald's or Burger King after 10 p.m. So me, I'm like, McDonald's has sounded pretty damn good, and it's a little piece of home. So I go the #1 meal, eat the French fries, I do it all big. But the funny thing is when I'm in the U.S., I probably never eat McDonald's ever. But over there, it's like comfort food.
Now, you're a California guy, correct?
CA all day.
So
West Coast.
What's the vibe between California and a place like New York, New Jersey? Is wrestling more intense on the East or West Coast?
Oh, no doubt, more intense in the East. Wrestling fans are much, much more intense in the East. California is what you'd expect. They're good wrestling fans, but they're more laid back. They're not as thirsty. I don't want to say East Coast fans are thirsty for blood, but they've seen a lot, and whether it be going through a table or telling a good story as far as a wrestling match, they want you to deliver. On the West Coast, it's a little more laid back. It's much more laid back.
Like the lifestyle.
Just like the lifestyle. That's what I'm saying. The demeanor of the fans and the lifestyle is compatible.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us tonight. Chris Masters, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at this guy. He's put together, brother.
Thanks,
Chris.
Hey, pleasure.
Thank you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of LSW Insider, and this week we're joined by none other than the Pitbull, Gary Wolf.
That's right, the original Pitbull #1, ECW, Gary Wolf. What's that?
Gary, quick question. Everybody wants to know about ECW. Real quick, what was it like to be part of that locker room?
you have to be crazy and hardcore to be part of that locker room. You know it as well as I do. No other locker room was that kind of a locker room. I don't care if you went to WCW, WWF, or Japan. ECW was one of a kind.
I have to agree with you on that one. I was in that room a few times. Real quick question, one-word answer. Paulie Dangerously, pro or con?
Pro.
Pro. Good to hear. Real quick question. As you know, I was in that locker room as a trader. I was part of the NWA side of that war. At the time, Dennis Corluzzo, who you worked for many times, was at war with Paulie Dangerously before both companies kind of exploded. You guys went to another level. We didn't. What separated ECW at the time from other groups that were breaking out?
I think because we did the hardcore stuff. But I was really tight with Dennis Corluzzo. I got to give props to Dennis. He helped us, me and my partner, out with our career. Plus, we were 3 or 4 time tag team champs for him at the time.
Absolutely. I remember it well, man. Dennis loved you guys. Real quick, what would you tell guys today trying to break into the business that can maybe separate them from the generic look and everything else that these guys have nowadays?
Go to Paulsboro, New Jersey, the Monster Factory, Larry Sharp. That's where you go. If you want to learn how to work and work right, you go there.
And if I'm not mistaken, your protege is down there training, Billy Real.
He's there sometimes training, yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, none other than the Pitbull, Gary Wolf, right here, LSW Pro Wrestling Insider. Thank you, Gary.